It has been looking strong from Koi. Let's see what Fnatic can do as we get into picks and bans. And very nice to see Fnatic healthy again and back on stage here to close out week number 2, especially after getting that win yesterday. Maybe we can try to carry some of that in and get an upset here against Koi. Of course, with Team Heretics picking up one a little bit earlier on, they are now trailing again in the standings. So a win here to go in tied with a bunch of different teams at 2 wins would mean a lot heading into the final 3 games to try and break into top 8.
Yeah, every win does matter. This far down, and certainly for Koi as well, if they want to play for placement, if they want to play for potentially selecting their opponents to the best of 3 for now, seeing the Rakan, the Annie banned away. Normally red side bans, this time blue side bans for Fnatic, is the Asol as well as the Zeri taken off the board. It seems like Koi just want to see how deep Fnatic's champion pools go. Caitlyn now going to be the final ban.
I want to see how deep the Koi pool goes, because coming into this week, it's very clear they're practicing a comp. Both games, they played Gnar top, Lee Sin mid, the Kai'Sa Rakan on the bot side, just switched out mid, the TF and Lysandra, but very much about like single target pick, a lot of ability to gap close and work as jungler.
And we'll talk about it, but I love Larson on these utility champions. I love when he is freed up to roam, or when Malrang wants to come to him and they can use that setup CC well. Of course, Reckless. Xayah, obviously, comfort pick for him, tried and true. Is going to be the first pick, but it does mean giving him to Lee Sin to Malrang, and if Koi want to just kind of repeat the blueprint they've been using this entire weekend, the option is there.
Snap the Rakan. I think absolutely take that. You can go ahead and pick up the Kai'Sa on 3 here. Most important thing is to deny that Rakan from going over into the hands of Advienne and just guarantee that. Then maybe we get a world where Fnatic just run back the Nautilus for Advienne and see if they can make some magic happen with that down on the bottom side. But I don't know. I think Malrang's Lee Sin's been interesting because it has been able to get kills in the early game, but it's so hard to make that champion have a big impact, especially later on. So tough task ahead, but actually a very different look here, throwing in the Kalista, something that they have played before down on that bot side. Famously Trimby in the support position.
Yeah, well also Kalista Soraka for them was big in the finals last year. I wonder if that's what we're going to see again. We've now got a Vi and a Nautilus picked up here. Now the Kalista going to help mitigate some of the threat onto the support or the AD carry if it does end up being a Kalista support here, but tons of reliable, hard engage options coming in for Fnatic. A lot of point and click CC, so Koi have to pick their carries carefully.
I thought we were going to see a transition here this week with Trimby moving over to more engaged supports after continuing to play in that ranged mindset for so long. Of course, he was sort of one of the first supports here in Europe to fully adopt ranged supports, even back going into last year. But now a little bit slow to get into the melee hype train. Could play something like the Soraka or just double down and play all in bot lane, but I really like this, right? The engage from Vi is super obvious when she's ulting in. Same thing with the Nautilus. The Taric ult, normally maybe problematic with the wind-up time before that comes in, but a really nice pairing here with the Kalista, and knowing what champs are engaging on the opposite side, I love it.
Yeah. Still remember when Vander got the Taric ult on a TP.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
How good am I?
Yeah, how good am I?
On the top side for Rogue, but now see what Comp and Trimby can get done with this pick. I think you're right. It's a difficult ulti to use. It always feels better when it's used proactively than reactively, but against a Vi, if the follow-up from Fnatic, if the coordination from Fnatic is not perfectly, it can mitigate their entire engage plan.
You can see Fnatic now just banning away like strong mid lane pairings with the Lee Sin, like reliable CC. The Annie was already taken away, but I think that pairing is really strong with the Lee. Of course, the LeBlanc coming in through. Maybe we also see something like the Twisted Fate or even the Lysandra taken off the board.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I feel like this composition from Koi is going to need a bit more damage. Kalista obviously can take over a game, but if she doesn't get super far ahead, she doesn't quite fill the same hyper carry role that a Xayah can.
That's true. I'm wondering if Koi maybe just try to play a little bit more snowball, because like they could go a little bit more scaling option in mid if they wanted to lock in, you know, an Azir or something like this and just kite back.
Which is a good version of Larson, but I was really enjoying the spree of very like proactive roam-heavy champions coming in from Larson.
That's true. I would also say, ooh, I wonder if they think Larson might want to play something AD in the mid lane. That's usually why the Gwen would be taken away here.
Well, they have 80 jungle already and a decent amount of 80 on the bottom side. So how do they actually balance out this composition? It seems like Fnatic at least giving respect to AP junglers on the top side. And TF, again,
It's that reliable lockdown and ability to move around the map.
Instead, the Gnar, though.
Safer blind pick option for him, leaving some options open for Larssen, of course. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Azir come through actually really like this, knowing that there are some dive options on the opposite side, like Lee Sin and Gnar. Well, they are decent at diving into the enemy backline. When there is an Azir ult and a Zai ult, they are absolutely not.
Yeah, and I really love having a Vi into a Gnar as well for Fnatic. Just the ability to go on him when he is in midi immediately to try to burn him down. And so it'd be a bold call, more scaling for the side of Fnatic. It did work pretty well for them yesterday. But the GP, a champion that, you know, you get late enough, especially against a champion like Kalista, who can just, once you slow her down at all, it gets so much easier. I think Fnatic really heads up read on what they need to do compositionally. What are the lanes going to look like here? I don't think it's going to be an Ivern.
You don't think so?
You know, I'm reasonably confident. But there's a Taric on my screen, and I didn't expect that either. Instead, it is going to be the Twisted Fate for Larssen in the mid lane, so maybe trying to lock down some of these individual members. One of the really positive interactions for the GP is that he's really not vulnerable to, you know, the TF
gold
ganks.
card, yeah. Can just cleanse that one away, be very happy with life. Maybe if Lee Sin gets behind him with the ward hop, that can be a little bit more difficult. But honestly, like, looking at this overall, I feel like this is the exact kind of draft I want to see from Fnatic, right? Oscar in a favorable matchup on the top side, going to be happy, especially in the early levels, trading with that GP. But just like super easy team fight to execute here. Great engage options, great peel for the backliners on the actual backliners themselves. So they don't even have to rely on teammates to sort of coordinate some peel in that regard. Koi's comp, much harder to execute, I think, much more on a timer. You have to make use of all of these Destiny Gates from the Twisted Fate and sort of get this Kalista running away. But Koi are coming in saying, dude, we're just better than you, Fnatic. We're going to beat you in this bot lane and try to carry that through the rest of the game.
And this is the style of composition that they've proven on across countless years of Koi. Things like the Kalista in the early game. Strong laners, strong laning picks, proactive map movement coming in from Larssen to back it up now. And just need to put their money where their mouth is in this early to mid game to really snowball a lead out of control, because the later and later the game goes, the harder and harder this gets for Koi, because eventually Oscar Renan is going to start one-shotting people. Reckless and Humanoid are going to start one-shotting people, and a Taric ultimate is not going to come down fast enough to save you from the burst that these champions can bring on 3 or 4 items.
Absolutely not. We're going to be jumping straight into our final match of the day.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Berlin, I am missing the context necessary to understand the Razork please meow for me sign. That I'm not entirely, if that is either an inside joke or something I should not have read out on air, but I'm really hoping it's just an inside joke. Either way, here we are in game. Oh, meowing for you.
There you go. It's the pieces are starting to come together. I'm no detective, Dracos.
Okay, I'm just saying, you can't be picky. It's a very specific request.
I will have
pick Annie or pick Twisted Fate, you know?
I will have all chat open.
Okay.
Right? So in the event that I see any meows, I will let you guys know, okay?
There it is. The stage has been set. It's a high-stakes game, both for the fans and for the teams playing.
So
Will
true.
he, won't he? We'll have to find out. And this is a big game. Of course, for Fnatic, I think it's hard because the expectations on them are always so high, regardless of the 5 players playing. Just because of the organization that they are, they did win. And now there's even more expectations for them to kind of keep this momentum going. And just need to see what they can get done. Need to find out. We got first strike in mid, first strike in top, so going to offer a little bit more gold income for the Azir, as well as for the GP, and potentially a little bit more burst to shred some of these members down on the side of Koi before the Taric ultimate can come in. But for now, just going to see how good the early laning phase can be from Comp and Trimby.
Yeah, the really awkward thing playing the Nautilus here into the Taric is anytime you go in, Taric just starts channeling his stun, like as the hook is flying towards him, and you're instantly traded back. Then Comp has 3, 4, 5 spears in ya. Hold on, level 2 gank.
All right, just zooming into mid lane. That is a gold card. Humanoid flashing out to safety, but it's still going to connect. They're going to try to chip him down a little bit. Malrang going to lose a lot of his health. Hits you with the shrug. Again, not a meow, but, you know, getting there.
A little bit different. They do get the flash off of Humanoid, get a potion there as well. So while Malrang is low, he's going to be able to sustain up with the W, with the red buff as well.
Can't hear it now, but people in Berlin are meowing now. It's getting weird. Here.
I'm not a hater.
I'm not here to judge, you know?
Live your life.
Medic would say, don't yuck other people's yums.
That's so true, Bestie.
You can't call me Bessie on camera. Mark's going to get jelly.
Good.
Good, all right.
Where is he now?
That's at home, watching, in his pajamas, comfortable. While I sweat in this outfit that you picked so many layers for. Oscar, nice sidestep.
Oh! Actually, nothing landed there. Everything went straight into the wave. So, I mean, Shigenda just does have pretty free push here, but not the damage you'd love to see go down onto that GP.
And honestly, we're kind of just going to wait for Koi to do stuff. GP's not going to do a lot here early on, you know, unless he can really get on top of the Gnar, which seems pretty unlikely.
This is actually so classic Koi, though. Having like 3 pushing lanes, a jungler that wants to go do something.
It really is like a 2020 flashback. Right?
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. Now Larson, I think,
is he just going to...
He's just warding. He's just going to make sure they can get Scuttlecraft here. But
big hook onto Comp. Stun now going to be there. Ignite now going down on the side. Here comes Razor. Comp should just be a dead man walking, but he's turning it back. He gets first blood. Full confidence coming through as Advian will be the first to fall. Trimby now flashing out to safety. Razor going to dash away from the stun. Flash rather and get the kills back in return.
Nicely played by Razor there. Also Advian finding the initial hook, being able to farm 2 kills. Yeah, Comp gets first blood, but I would not be too upset with that if I was Fnatic. This whole wave should end up being sacrificed into the turret there as well. Only good news for Koi, I think, is the Comp held on to Flash, so repeat ganking on that bot side is not going to be necessarily a sure thing for Fnatic.
Yeah, but Vi getting off to a good start, Razor getting off to a good start is going to be big for the team overall. See what else he wants to do here. Just going to drop down a bit of vision and back. We saw what getting an early Black Cleaver can do for a Vi, how powerful that burst damage can be in the early to mid game if you get ahead. Trimby's going to spot out Razor's back timing, so a bit more information for Koi to play with. But right now, Fnatic finding themselves with about 100 gold lead. Not too much yet, but when you're expected to fall drastically far behind in this bottom lane, this is an excellent start.
Yes, this is good. I don't know, Trimby doesn't initially pop the stun here going on to Advian. That could have stopped, because usually what it can do is it can mean you stop Advian from actually getting the W proc down to get the root from coming through. May have been slightly more optimal, but either way, I think this was always going to be going in the favor of Fnatic. Really good timing on Razork there. The wave is sort of pushed in front of Fnatic's tower, so Koi have to stick around or risk giving up so much. The thing I'm more concerned about is the fact that off of the reset, Razork ran topside, whereas Malrong ran bot. Now, he ends up not actually being able to find a gank, but does have a pretty good timer to just pick up the Drake here.
Sneaking away the Chemtech as well. Be pretty big, and I think good news the Chemtech Soul isn't on the board. Definitely not one of the more powerful ones when it comes to at least overall win rate. Fnatic pushed in for now as Comp and Trimby trying to sustain pressure, may move up to help Malrang. Razor coming down level 5 to Malrang's level 4. Smite up and available for both junglers. No flash for Razor. Is going to have to be careful here. We'll spot out Trimby and Comp. Don't think he's going to flip it on this one. Doesn't hurt too much to give up the Drake, but they could stick around. Malrang getting very low. Maybe Addy and Reckless are going to look to back them up.
Problem is they only just now found out how low Malrong was. They didn't have vision in the pit to know they could all in for that fight, and without having full pry over mid or anything like this, they didn't want to go for it. Now Razork is going for the invade, but Larson just ticked over to 6. This could get turned around on Razork if he can't instantly burst Malrong.
Wants to burst through. Huge damage!
Oh.
He can! Ender, he can just burst through Malrang.
That hurts. Malrong just dies with flash up right there. Was not expecting Malrong, or Razork rather, to just come straight over the wall. And Razork just sort of running over this early game, using some of the vision he put down as well to track Malrong down to the bot side. That's why he was, checking out the Dragon Pit, expected to be in him to be in that area. And then once he did find out how low that Lee Sin was, he was able to walk straight into the Wolves, knowing that they're up. Really nice stuff.
Ooh. Shigenda. Earlier he was trying to hit the wave. That time he was trying to hit Oscar, and he just whiffed. Not going to get much. Of course, low cooldown on the Gnar ultimate, so it doesn't really hurt to just throw it out, but definitely would have liked to get a bit more out of that trade.
Wave kind of sucks for Oscar though. Does have flash, does have ult if he desperately needs to clear it away, but kind of stuck on Shigenda's side. Now, luckily for him, Shigenda is forced back into mini-Gnar, so less threat of an all-in, especially with the jungler ganking, and maybe predicting Malrong to play towards this bottom side, but you can see that with that wave pushing in, no support coming in, you may turn this into a dive onto the mini-Gnar.
Razork can just walk menacingly at Shigenda. He cannot approach this wave. And I actually love this play. They don't need to overforce on the dive. Just take an entire wave away. Take all of that experience away from Shigenda, and maybe he gets a single Krug here. He's just stacking a Rage for now, maybe to dissuade them from going for the dive.
Just remember, Fnatic can't overcommit when they go for these side lane plays. I think that actually showed really good restraint from Fnatic. I think they even had spotted Malrong on the bot side. Not 100% sure on that, but
spotted out. He's just gonna have to flash over the wall here. He's waiting as long as possible.
No.
Well, now finally flash. That is not the timing. He's dead. Might take a second here. Malrang has no kick, so he's just kind of standing here to look menacing. They wait for the ult as long as possible till it's absolutely necessary. GPL now coming down, hoping for an assist there. Won't get it. Comp on the way in, throwing Trimby into Humanoid. Looking to finish the job here. No flash for Humanoid available means they will get 1 kill back in return.
Just a 1-for-1 around mid. That was kind of wild right there. Fnatic calling off the play. They had the comms coming through from bot lane. Like Comp, Trimby, they're moving up on towards that mid lane. But this is just going to show with Koi playing with priority in so many lanes, Fnatic have to get in and get out. They attacked mid lane, which I think is the right call there, going to the source of the global. Whereas in the top lane, they did have to call that play off for risk of that TF just porting straight in here. I'm curious what exactly went wrong for them. I think Oscarin maybe could have ulted a little bit earlier. I think his ult actually just goes to waste on this one. They actually get the kill onto Larson right off the bat.
Yeah.
Don't think he gets the assist.
Nope, he doesn't.
Super sad.
Yeah, a little bit brutal there to lose out on the ultimate. Now you can see in the play, Trimby obviously going to get thrown in. Quick kill finish up in the picture-in-picture in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. That is the Herald being taken down as well. Shigenda doesn't really have the room to get in here. And, you know, the one Drake in favor of Koi, but Fnatic almost 800 gold in their favor, and now a Herald as well, meaning it should be at least a 1k gold lead once they're able to use it.
Holy, yeah, that Black Cleaver just came in for Razor.
Oh my god, Oscarin just dancing on him.
Okay.
Oscarin slowly dying still, despite dancing on him. Oh, no longer has any room to dance! Oh, he lost the dance battle. Shigenda may have messed up 1 or 2 of the moves, but Larson was there to back him up. So Koi, you're just gonna get all that gold right back. Gonna grab some plates here, make it pretty easy. In the meantime, of course, Humanoid is able to push in a wave mid lane, but the amount of plates and the successful kill on the top side make it more than worth for Koi and for Larson.
Poor Oscarin just stuck in the first 2 acts of Footloose. Not gonna let it happen. Absolute denial.
Play the Kenny log and somebody.
Oh no. But I mean, this is where Fnatic would love to sort of find some response on the bottom side of the map. They are moving towards it. Razork is here, has ultimate, so everything going to be lost. Comp also didn't have ult coming up. Trimby level 5, not 6, so
and this is,
they can't try to risk it under tower.
Yeah, and you gotta give respect to Koi. They're really good at not taking these risks, about not risking getting dived. It always does cost them. They do lose out on XP, they do lose out on gold here, but they play very cautious around the dives. You saw Shigenda do it on the top side, you're now seeing Comp and Trimby do it on the bottom side, not giving anything up, whereas Oscarin, as much as individually in the 1v1 he was dodging around a lot of those skills and abilities, you know, still gets taken down at the end because of the TP coming in from Larson.
Oh, Razork just walking straight over the ward. He doesn't even care. I don't even know if he necessarily noticed it.
He's level 8.
He just yoinked 88 gold from Humanoid. Another highway robbery from the jungler, just piecing into mid lane. Drops the Herald, so I guess...
That's a 3-0 Vi with a Black Cleaver. She takes what she wants when she wants. And she dropped a Herald, so... paying it back, I think it's safe to say, as Reckless is going to step forward into Trimby here. Trying to sidestep on the stun, a nice slow field, but it's not going to do too much. Trimby maybe forced to ult, but instead just using Comp's ult here. I think his ult would have probably been a bit too late in the end.
I feel like this isn't ideal how Koi want to play the game. I think that because Larson had to go back to base, TP into mid, doesn't have the Twisted Fate ultimate up and available, they're playing a little bit more catch-up here, response to the moves that Razork was making around the map. But compositionally, I think Larson and Malrang would love to be making plays, just because of the fact that Razork's pathing early on, the gank in bot lane, finding Malrang in the jungle, shutting him down. The fact that he's so powerful makes it really hard for Malrang to walk anywhere on the map alone. Yep. If he had a lead, it's so easy, walk in the enemy jungle, TF's instantly behind you. But because Razork could just blow you up right quick, that is just not an option for Malrang anymore.
And Oscarin, while the gold isn't wildly in favor of Shigenda, that's mostly because of the extra GP gold income in the first strike. Shigenda is individually so far ahead. Now that he's broken that tower, now he's 1.2k gold ahead. So while he had some nice footwork to dodge out on some of those Mega Gnar wall-ups, he's getting further and further behind in this matchup. Now his tower is down, and it's going to be hard to find a safe place to farm as we get into the mid-game. I think priority number 1 for Koi moving forward, though, has to be breaking open mid. Once you break open mid with the Twisted Fate, you just have so much room to play.
That's super true. I think that Koi, the problem for them is, I mean, maybe waiting for next Herald for something to try and to bust it open there. It's kind of hard for them to access that mid lane tower without getting a kill or something preceding that. I think Malrang getting the Drake earlier on is a really nice thing for him to sort of shut down forcing fights around objectives as Razork just walks straight into Trimby's face.
He's level 9. Very far ahead. Feeling confident. And you like to see it from Razork. Good to see that level of confidence. 3-0-0 again. 3 out of 4 of Fnatic's kills, and now see what Fnatic can do with their lead. I think, again, the big thing for Fnatic is they're fine scaling. when it comes to ease of execution, they've got so many good tools the later and later we get into the game. They just have to really just continue to play a clean game here and not give any windows of opportunity for Koi as... What?
Just guy doesn't care.
The ward.
It would waste time. It's all about efficiency, Drake, because you wouldn't understand.
No,
You're not a jungler, you don't get it. That's like half a second, minimum.
If he does not meow, if we didn't win a meow for that, then I'm going to be very sad. Because I'm just saying, that's money. And like, every little piece of gold counts.
It really does.
Look at Malrang.
Speak of the money.
Ward.
Oh,
no,
he didn't get it! This is so sad.
This is difficult to watch. Maybe
at least they know it's there.
Maybe he wanted to give the money to Advian. Maybe Advian's about to walk into that brush and kill that. Nope.
See, Razork has his priorities straight.
There you go, okay.
But like, Razork is just living inside Malrang's jungle. This is insane. Like, he just refuses to leave whatsoever.
Shigenda knows he's in the bush! Surprise! Oscar in, and there's nowhere to go, buddy. You are one dead pirate. Ooh, sidestep is clean, but Shigenda's still just walking at you. Waddles forward, finishes the job. Solo Bolo as Razork now coming in. Shigenda, where are you gonna go, buddy? Dance, dip, duck, dive, dodge.
Die.
Zoom in. He's gonna die. Yep. Boop.
Moral victory, die into the tower there, you take some credit. Meanwhile, Razork's like, gimme, 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 all those minions. He's gonna snatch those up for himself.
This man's eating good.
He's eating real good. The problem is, like, when does this matchup actually shift back towards Oscarinin? It is the crit GP, so much more about big burst in team fights, less like dueling inside, especially early on those items. But Shigenda just running over him and now starting to stack up the armor too. Like, this is not a very fun position for Oscarinin, who is now 2 levels behind, by the way. Shigenda up to level 11. Back on the map as well. No flash on the GP. This is tough times ahead for him, especially if he tries to step forward to clear away those side lanes, because even if you can cleanse away the Twist Fate ult, if you don't have a tower near enough to run to, it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, you can see Shigenda just to the top of the XP there, and Oscarinin falling further behind. Razork doing incredibly well over Malrang. Maybe that is the avenue they can continue to play through, but right now he's kind of just been playing cleanup on some of these kills, and have to see if Fnatic getting Reckless and Advian out of the bottom lanes mean they're going to be able to make some more proactive plays of their own. Or will they just wander in menacingly?
I mean, they have the numbers. They could have just like tried to walk up on tower, but not enough minions to play with.
What? Okay. Close. 2 HP left, but I don't think he was in range there at that point.
No, definitely not. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Oscarinin is just getting run out of the river. As the Rift Herald is spawning up, Koi are definitely going to try to play for this, but the problem is, like, support, like, Advian's already up here. Trimby is matching it around mid lane. But I don't actually know if you can beat out Razork in a fight. Shigenda is very strong, don't get me wrong, but Razork, if you just turn onto Larson, I feel like you just blow him up instantly.
If you can lock Shigenda down, if you get any follow-up CC after Razork, Shigenda should still just die here, and he's going to go for it. Malrang waiting in the meantime. They're going to lock Shigenda up. Shigenda now going to be in trouble. They're going to try to burn through him before the tower call comes down. Huge going to work. That is absolutely massive. Koi, Trimby only protecting. Oh! And that means Malrang dies. Trimby going to follow. Fnatic taking the fight. They'll turn and take the Herald as well.
It is a Razork kingdom. Oh my word. Yesterday got the early lead, was able to snowball on through that. I feel like, especially if the Fnatic mid-jungle are on fire, they're just going to be able to continue to run away with that. That's what you expect from players like Razork and Humanoid. And my god, it happens again. Shigenda got absolutely popped on the top side, and this is just going to continue Razork snowballing on up. He has Herald now too. I don't even think they need to use Herald on mid. Humanoid may just be able to find the tower, but decides it's more important to get the base off because Drake has already spawned. He wants to be back on the map for that with the TP.
Makes a lot of sense, but 3.1k individual gold difference. This is so...
That's a black cleaver.
That's a whole black cleaver. That's a lot of money. Razork very strong, and you can see Shigenda kind of mistaking his strength in lane for overall strength in the context of the game. I don't think was expecting the sheer amount of burst damage coming through from the side of Fnatic in that fight. I don't think it's a mistake he's going to make twice, but you have to be careful when you're in Mini. One of the squishiest champions in the game in Mini.
It's all about finding the timings, especially like when it comes to like these later game flanks. If he's spotted out on vision early before he has that charged up, like Fnatic can just turn and burn on him. They have so many tools to close the gap. You actually saw there, I think Advian hit 3 people with the depth charge too, which is just absolutely insane on the Nautilus. Gave Koi absolutely zero chance. Now, Koi, how do you even fight this necessarily Razork already has his ultimate up. Yeah, you've got 5 players in the area, but I don't actually know if he can get good purchase back into the river here.
And I like this call from Fnatic. Keep 4 members close to mid. Just let Razork solo the objective out. Don't need to overcommit. Don't need to overstay. Koi, of course, have the reliable gold card. Larson a little bit behind in the play. Malrang has Smite, only level 9 to the level 11 of Razork. Of course, doesn't work that way anymore. I have to remember. Not over Advian. A little bit of a whiffy there. Shigenda off to the side, but they're going to take the Drake, and now they're turned to Trimby to just try to burst him out. But Comp now immediately going to get locked down. He doesn't have a chance to start channeling the Taurak ultimate. Maybe he looks to get it now, but Malrang with the kick, trying to find the angle into the fight, but Malrang has no way to do anything. Reckless and Humanoid untouched. Shigenda going to try to be the difference maker, going to try to take down Reckless, but Reckless is still alive! The wild cards do not connect, and Koi have thrown everything away. Fnatic taking the fight.
Nobody dies from Fnatic? Are you kidding me? What was that? Razork again is able to pinpoint Comp the second he tries to save the support. Razork is just flying on in there. Fnatic very favored in the team fights already from draft, and Koi, I think, getting a little bit desperate to try and force something before Fnatic just run completely away with the game, but I think they already have.
Incredible. I mean, individual performance from Razork, no doubt that he's the player of the game, that he is the MVP thus far, but the team fight as a whole, so well coordinated. They did not hesitate to go on Trimby, wait for the ultimate to come out, then immediately go on Comp, and there's, now that Koi are behind, their composition really just does not work. They need to find picks, but Fnatic not giving them those windows of opportunity, and as you highlighted earlier, Razork is mostly just in Malrang's jungle all the time. Yeah. Fnatic playing a very solid game thus far. Have to see if they can keep the pressure up. Of course, if they make mistakes, if they give windows of opportunity, Koi's comp is still good at capitalizing on those, but they have not made those mistakes thus far.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you have a chance with the Taurak ult, sort of Fnatic overextending. If Razork dies, that's a 4K gold lead that you've now lost.
Reckless is on 2 items already.
That's what I was going to say.
The 2.5 seconds it takes the Taurak ult to come down, he's going to be dead. And here we see Trimby going to be the first target.
But the switch up here is really good from Razork. Instantly pinpoints Comp. Comp just absolutely hung out to dry. The instant knockup. Yeah, it's a good 4-man knockup from Trimby coming out of that ultimate, but it just doesn't matter. The damage isn't there. Larson also went for the rapid fire cannon, second item, so very good finding the pick, but his actual damage contribution in the fight didn't seem that high, especially not next to the Azir with Humanoid just pumping it out.
And that's one of the big things that's rough, again, about this Koi composition. We talked about it. If you snowball, it can be really strong, but if you don't, Kalista and TF are not the highest damage champions in their role, and certainly not on even items, or in this case, when they're behind their respective lane opponents.
Yeah, I mean, they were supposed to, you know, win through bots. Ooh, the cinematic shot.
We're lining it up. We're doing it.
Nice. Anyways, the Kalista was supposed to win through bot lane, but then it's Advian finding the hook, Razork getting the good timing, then Malrong's dead in his jungle, then everyone's grouping around mid lane, so Larson can't really get an ult off. The only thing that was going well, I think, for Koi was Shigenda on the top side of the map, but even then, it stalls out. You can't really continue pressing this advantage. Again. Realistically, what Koi need, like the situation they want to be in, they have an advantage. They're sieging mid tower, and then they're instantly switching it, right? They're 4-1-ing, you know, maybe with Gnar in the side lane against GP, then Twisted Fate is diving top lane, while everyone on Fnatic is showing in mid. These are the ideas they want, but now it's all back foot, all backs to the wall.
It's hard, you know? It's been a difficult early game for Koi, and in the words of Batman and Taylor Swift, you either die a sexy baby or live long enough to see yourself become the monster on the hill. And Koi are the monster on the hill right now, man.
Damn.
The problem is them. it fell apart. Thank you.
Razork, every time he walks into the jungle, it's me. It's me.
Hi. I'm the problem.
I'm the problem. Oh, baby! Oscar in and turning it around!
All right. Oscar in and out. Looking for a little animal style on the bottom side, but he will not find it. Reckless goes up, comes down.
Wait, that was to mid lane?
Larson now going to have locked up. Razork has a lot of burst damage, but it looks like they might be able to turn this one. Fnatic getting a little bit over-aggressive. Oscar in though. He's still chasing, running him down. A bit of vengeance. Big game hunting, now little game hunting. But here comes Razork.
Here comes the TV.
Waiting, one shot.
Oh my God!
Oh, in the back of the head, execution style. It's brutal. I didn't think I would say this, but Fnatic are obliterating Koi.
It's not even close, man. They're slaughtering them. Oh my God. And it's not even like Koi get the early advantage, Fnatic out teamfight them. No, like Fnatic have just been cruising through them. Even Oscar in turns around that top lane matchup.
And I'm just gonna say it. The unseen Legacy Dynasty Kings is the deadliest. What is this plot armor? They win one game and now they look insane. They punished Koi. Koi thought they were playing a different team. Koi thought they were playing week 1 Fnatic. This is week 2 Fnatic, which has still been a little bit suspect, but not disrespect level. And I feel like Koi, even though they brought the big guns in the early game, just could not find their shot.
All right, Drakus, I'm going to bust out a pretty old, dated narrative here in the LEC, okay? I feel like we haven't used this word in a long time. What if Fnatic are just a streaky team?
Oh, no. Don't.
Right, because they lose all these games for 49 days without a win?
Yeah.
Now 2 wins in a row? Will they ever stop losing?
That's a question.
Clearly, we're going to have to wait another week. That's 7 more days before they even have a chance.
That's just count, though, right? We don't. I
just assume they win every scrim.
Well, if their opponents play like this and they play like this, then yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good.
It just makes sense.
Okay, bye, Trimby.
Yeah, remake.
Bye, Trimby. Goodbye. I feel bad, too. Trimby was, like, giving us compliments on our outfits, and this is, it's not going well.
Nope. He's wearing the gray right now.
And all I'll say is, Razork may not meow like a kitty, but he is hard carrying this game, so I think you're going to have to cut him some slack if he does not follow through on your request.
We'll have to get him for PGL the interview, something like this. We'll coax it out of him, don't you worry. We'll make it ball wrong. That's not the Baron.
Looking for the flank. Malrine going to get pushed back, kicked away. They're going to try to finish the job here, but the Baron's already gone. I was ready to cast a one-sided game, but this is not the way I expected it to go. Shigenda now zooming. Triple barrel will not connect.
How do you think Gangplank carries all those?
I actually don't know.
It's like his arms are not small.
Also, I talk about this a lot, but he's just a dude with a gun. Like, how did he get into the League of Legends? How does a small firearm qualify you for being a legend?
Hold on, he's got orange juice too.
That's respectable. Razor's got a lot more than that, and Oscar in it doesn't have his life anymore. Koi now trying to turn it. The Carcult is massive. Maybe it's a chance, but they don't have any damage. There's no follow-up. The Carcult isn't actually going to do anything because no one's in position to hit. Trimby now running.
I'll chat it fast. Worth, baby. Worth. Get Oscar in. All you lose is Trimby. Sure, Razork's a legendary on the opposite side. Losing your oh my.
Razork?
Razork's strong. I don't know if he's 1v3 strong just yet. That's the key word.
Ender. Razork's going to take away this red buff. Fnatic going to continue their pressure on the top side of the map. They are wildly far ahead. They are making it rain on Koi right now. They are just throwing their wallets at them. There is not a lot of room for Koi to do much of anything. You saw Desperation in the mid lane trying to get something back, and that's the problem for Koi. There aren't really good plays left. You're kind of just hoping to force a mistake from the side of Fnatic.
Do you think this is Fnatic's way of like apologizing for all the pauses? Right? It's like, look, we've implemented the pause hack too many times. We make you stay out late on the weekends. We're just gonna give you like 25-minute game, wrap it up real quick, knock it down. Of course, Koi were able to trade back 1 kill here, but you know.
I like how you went from wild conspiracy theory flawlessly into just talking about that replay like it never happened.
I wasn't doing any conspiracy. I have not once conspired? Conspired. Yeah. See, I don't even know what the word is. So clearly I could have never.
You couldn't have done it.
I could not
That's
have.
how it works. Huh?
That's a penguin.
That's a teepee. And a penguin. Wow.
Our synergy, a little bit.
Sussy.
You're on the gameplay, I'm on the emotes.
We got the Taylor Swift quotes, but we've been everything else we're still ironing out. Color theory.
So so the Baron power play, just to the
Rebel Baron
power play, just because I know we have some Koi Valorant players in the audience. That's almost like the Red Bull clutch. It's pretty close. But in this one, it's like you're already so far ahead. It's not like you had to like do some insane clutch play to bring it back. No, you're already steamrolling ahead. You're just carrying that one to the finish.
It's like you get to play around with all of your ultimates up, and they don't get any of their ultimates. No? Question mark? I don't know.
Sorry, no, I'm just theorizing now. Maybe Koi are so good in the BO3s compared to BO1s because it's more like the round system.
Yeah,
right?
Got it.
Because it's like, oh, you know, we just reset, you know. We're on a rifle now, we're chilling.
Oh, yeah, and again, gold snowballs in this game, there's no reset, so Koi are permanently on eco rounds for the rest of the game. It's just pistols versus rifles from here on out. So, it's difficult. Again.
Yeah, don't believe, like, the fact that, oh my god, GP with the pistols! You brought it all back! That's incredible.
The Sheriff.
I actually cannot put the Sheriff.
It's even Special Forces GP. Semi-modern era GP.
Oh, and he's got his melee too.
End up running.
That's the dragon melee.
Okay, now
it's
we're
on.
going to.
Okay, I'm
It's
sorry.
League of Legends. Fnatic are winning a game. Koi are really out of options here. You notice that they're not even contesting.
But you can see why I'm confused, right?
I can see.
Fnatic winning Valorant.
Yes, I understand.
It makes too much sense. I'll stop. I
Razork
promise.
will be
It's
boasting
done.
at the end of this, most certainly.
Maybe we can get him to do the new jeans dance.
There it is.
You know, we can get Reckless to do new jeans. That would be crazy. No.
That would be wild. That would be crazy. If you can convince Reckless, I'd be impressed. Razork waiting in the darkness. He is ruthless. He is the apex predator. Who will he go for? They're all slightly out of range.
He will turn around.
The Vi counterplay of walking away slowly.
I mean, to be fair, there's a Drake. And that's an Infernal Soul coming right up, and there's absolutely nothing Koi can do about that one. Now, quietly, like, they have gotten 3 items on their carries, but again, this is the problem. Not the amount of damage that the 3 items of a Xayah Azir is going to do on the opposite side.
I just want to plant the seed, because while Fnatic are in complete control, and it would be a colossal disaster to lose this game,
No.
the LEC is the home of colossal disasters. So, there's a Twisted Fate, there are TPs, and while there are many, many towers between Fnatic's Nexus
I don't like where
and
this
Koi,
is headed.
I'm just again, planting the seed. Things to be aware of as we go deep into this game, and Larsen's just going to perpetually split push. Should be impossible.
I think Fnatic are just kind of chilling right now. They're like, okay, we got the Soul, we got Baron coming up too. This is probably where the final battle lines are going to be drawn.
Yeah, it's cool. I respect it. You got to collect them all, you know? Get all the buffs.
Oh, yeah.
Really make sure you can close
Even
it
if
out.
they're 3 of the same, you know, 3 Infernals going back to back to back.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder, like, if they're going to just, like, plant themselves inside the enemy jungle. Because it's Infernal Rift, a little bit fewer areas to actually hide out from as Fnatic try and set up some kind of pick on the enemy. This was Ocean, for example. You have that giant brush that leads all the way up to Raptors, and you can definitely make something. So you go all the way on forward, clear away these wards, and say, actually, Koi, you can't even get into your jungle to begin with. We want to fight you up in this territory right here. We have the bushes to play from.
And again, oh, this is so hard for Koi, because you just saw Malrang, Trimby, and Comp stacking in a brush, but they can't kill
That's a nice
Razork.
ward, though.
Razork has a frozen heart. Razork is very beefy. They cannot kill him before the rest of Fnatic gets on top of him.
And Humanoids, I mean, just hitting Baron over the wall. Like, Reckless is zoning instead of hitting Baron because it doesn't actually matter.
What do you do with this information?
This is perfect.
He's going
Oh
in.
my god.
What? Oh, that's wild. Desperation. He took Smite. He was trying to get it. He was trying
with the
to take
Unsealed
it away.
Spellbook, right?
That's respectable.
I mean, at that point, like, you've got to do something. Like, even without Smite, maybe just go for it.
But it's not the empowered Smite, is it? Difficult.
I believe so.
Doesn't even get it off in the end. Shout out to Observer Team, who immediately screamed into my ear, he took Smite. Thank you for saving me from looking like a fool or making Larsen look like a fool. So that is desperation. That was the desperation play. Koi wanted to flip it, and respectable if they get that Baron. Maybe they buy a bit more time, but Reckless now trying to solo bullish Agenda. Oscar in and running in, setting up some barrels and looking to finish the job. Avian finding the lockup, the immortality, the invulnerability will fade away, and Koi will be pushed back into their base as Fnatic continue their reign of terror on the top side of the map.
What a great way for Fnatic to bounce back. I mean, 2 games in a row where you just sort of get this early game lead. This one, even way cleaner than yesterday's performance. Just absolutely foot down on Koi. Nothing Koi could do to come back in this game. Razork beasting all the way through from start to finish.
Yeah, Razork, monster. You got a lot of individual members stepping up. Oscar and struggling a bit in the lane, but finding the big barrels here at the end to close it out. Fnatic, it was a rough start. It was a rough winter. But after the winter comes spring, and spring looking a lot better for Fnatic this time around as they're just going to take their time dissecting Koi, take their time enjoying this win. They're going to grab it.
Easy does it right there for Fnatic. That brings them up to 2 wins, which is absolutely nuts because now we went from Fnatic having 0 wins heading into yesterday's match to now them being tied with 3 other teams in the league. XL, Heretics, Mad Lions, Fnatic, all with only 2 wins heading in to just 3 more matches next week. This is absolutely insane. Fnatic have reclaimed control over their destiny.
Next week is going to be wild. It was already high stakes. It was always going to be high stakes, but the amount of teams fighting to make it into top 8 again, it is always just so close. Last season was a bit more easy to figure out who would be at the bottom. This time around, race tighter than ever. It's Fnatic, I think, out of an abundance of caution, just going for a bow instead of the high fives.